structure that is in the like an army, so to speak. And women are not in an army in our nation. Women are, keepers of the house, soft on their feet type of deal. And they are princesses. So Queen, we just going over this, of course, because you got other nations they recognize like Queen Elizabeth and all of this. Even one of our sisters, real quick, I believe it was Esther. You know what I'm saying, in the book of Esther, where she was made a queen, but it wasn't of her nation. She was made a queen because she was made to marry another nation, another nation's king. I believe it was Xerxes, if I'm not mistaken. She had to marry Xerxes, and that's when she was called queen, but not because she was in the fold of the Israelites. It wasn't our nation. We was in captivity at that time, and she was just a very beautiful woman. And the king, they don't have no laws. They don't teach, interracial. They do interracial marriages. So he wanted Esther to be his wife, and that's why she was called the queen. Okay, but we don't do queens in Israel. All right, so we got king, we got queen. Uh, we got a prophet. Let's get a prophet and a prophetess. A prophet and a prophetess. All right. So now let's get these down in the Hebrew. All right. You got king, queen, prophet, prophetess. All right. King in the Hebrew is what? Malak. All right, 1 second. Malak. All right. Malak. Let's write that out in the ancient. Malak. All right. Now, queen in the Hebrew, Malakah. Malakah. All right. Malakah. Write it out in the Hebrew. All right. You have king is Malak, and you have queen is Malakah. Now let's get prophet. Prophet. Nabiyah. Prophet. A prophet in the Hebrew is Nabiyah. Let's go ahead and write that out. Nabiya. All right. Nabiya. Prophet. Nabiya. All right. Let's get prophetess. All right. You're going to sound similar, but it's Nabiya. Okay. All right. Nabiya. Nabiya. Similar, but it's a on the end, letting you know that this is feminine. All right. So it may sound similar when you pronounce it, but the on the end lets you know that it's feminine. It's talking about a woman. Okay. So let's write that on out. Okay. Salakia. All right. Salakia. All right. So you have king. Let's go over it real quick. You have king is Malak. You have queen is Malakah. You have prophet is Nabiyah. Prophetess is Nabiyah. Okay. Once again, king is Malak. Queen is Malakah. Prophet is Nabiyah. Prophetess is Nabiyah. All right. Let's go over a few more and then let's get some we're gonna go over something and then we'll end it there. All right. Do a few more. Okay. Let's get let's see what we're gonna go. A lad or a boy. Lad or boy. Let's go with that. And then we'll get a maiden or girl. And then we can get a horse and a mare. All right. All right. So now let's go ahead and get these. Nair, lad or boy is Nair. All right. Let's write it out in the ancient Nair. Nair. All right. All right. Nair is lad or boy, maiden or girl. Naira. Naira. All right. Naira. Naira. All right. Naira. Okay. Back just a tad. All right, now we're gonna get horse in the Hebrew is sawas. Sawas. All right, then you have mare, which is a female horse. It's gonna be sawa sawa sawasa. Salakia. Sawasa. Okay. Once again, it had lad or board. It's Na'ayr. Then maiden or girl is Na'ira. Horse is Sawas. Mare is Sawasa. All right. And so this is male, female, male, female. You see the similarities? You will have a huh at the end of the feminines, and that's normally it's a few rare occasions where a huh would be on the end of a word and it's still masculine. But most of the times in the Hebrew, if a huh is at the end of the word, it's a feminine noun. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and get into the topic about uh, similar words that's that's spelled the same, but it's and it's all
All right, Shalom Israel. Y'all about to send me a thumb to the brothers. Y'all Shamar thumb by send me outside to the sisters. We're the ISUPK, the Israelite School, Universal Practical Knowledge. Established in 1969, 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We're led by Commander General Yohana. We are not affiliated with any other organizations. Shout out to Priest and Officer Ashta Iyer out there in Chicago. Again, every Friday we're doing this all across the board in as many zones as have men to teach LASHAWAN QADASH classes. So I mean, we just had Chicago. I was using them as our commercial entry. We got them all over the place. I believe Priest and also 5,000 Maccabi in Minnesota is also holding it down tonight around this time. So you can always find a class wherever you're at. Shout out to Priest and also 5,000 my bar out there in New Orleans. The beautiful family. Shout out to Sister Nazama Na. Good to have you with us as always. So jumping back into this, let me just get this off the screen real quick. Lock it. There's the sister. And there we go. So a little off pitch there. Okay. Where are we today? Right on here. All right, so in that area is where a little blind spot is. All right, so we left off last week. I believe this marker was trash. Just about. We left off last week in Psalms 121. That's something kind of rough too. All right, Psalms 121. And we went as far as, like, let me just open this up. All right, so we did Psalms 121 and 1. I will lift up mine eyes into the hills from whence cometh my help. We're going to move on to verse 2. And this will be kind of a relatively short class as well. We're going to be starting a Sabbath service in a second here too. There we got the Tanakh. we're that feels better. All right, so we're in verse 2. Oh, this is the one I needed. You know what? I kind of did it a little backwards today. And this is just kind of a pet peeve, I guess. I prefer to always start off with the paleo, and then we can get into the Assyrian. So let me apologize if I threw anybody off course. Just a preference. It got a little wild. All right. Azaria, Mayam, Yahweh, Aisha, Shamayam, Warakazah. In English, that's going to look like that. Well, let me just put the Assyrian. You know what? That's how I did it last time. My fault. My fault. Putting this whole thing up. It's been a while. And yeah, put the Assyrian down here. And then the English in the middle. Now we're back on track. All right. There we go. See if you can see that well enough on there. Now we got a couple other brothers in here. Shalom, King Chess Piece. Oh, it's like a young man Jay. Should also my bar boy. Coming out from New Orleans. You got two different names on there? Or these two different sons? Either way, no sweat, most high in Christ. Welcome to class, the LASHAWAN QADASH, the Holy Tongue, the Hebrew language. We're going over Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. So we have the Paleo Hebrew up top. We have the Assyrian Hebrew on the bottom. So where we left off last week was I'll lift up mine eyes into the hills, from whence cometh my help. And that last word was Azariah. This down. Good study tool to follow along with. Two different sons. Hey, most high in Christ. Yeah, be fruitful and multiply. That's what's up. So we got two young men. Young man Jay. Keep it simple. Most high in Christ. Congratulations. Now these twins. You got another set of twins in here? Yeah, another good study tool to use is the Blue Letter Bible. You can get the app. You can just go on the website. And if you've never used it before, it's a little blurry. On the sides here, you're going to see in the blue boxes, tools. It's got the first verse here, the second verse underneath it. And then if you open up the tools, it'll show you the Assyrian Hebrew. And then it'll give you the words. So like my help, Isaiah, from my young. It's like mine. Oh yeah. Mine. So Zarya, the upside down curve, but you know that it's standing alone. It gets pronounced separately. The smiley face looking one, the upside right curve, lets you know that these two characters are joined. So the pronunciation gets slightly changed from independently. So you pronounce the first character fully. So it's da. The second character, the ah sound or that vowel sound would drop off. So we got Izar instead of Izara. The ah drops off. We got Izar, ya. Ma'aim, ya, hawa. which is the Most High. So now this is going to translate to, so my help. This black is crispy. All right. So now mine. I wonder if I should do that too. Hold on. And I don't think I did this last time, but to help y'all get a better grasp on the pronunciation. So Isaiah and how that would look using English characters. Zaria. Mine. Oh, we're about to run into that blank spot, so we'll just kick this over to the side. Yahweh. That's how you pronounce the Most High name. And just add these little dots in there just to show the separation of characters. So again, here you'd see how these two are joined. So instead of Ima, that vowel sound drops off, and you're left with the consonantal value. Mine. Azaria, mine, Yahweh. So now, mine, we can use, a lot of times we'll use just one word that's kind of a compound word that, in its very simplistic form, this is just going to be from. In English, though, to make it not so barbaric sounding, to make it, more sophisticated, and to include what would be otherwise kind of implied here. So my help from Yahweh. So and here we're just going to say the Most High. You're going to see this normally as all capital letters, Yahweh. Anytime you see all capital Lord, that's going to be Yahweh, Most High name. So to make it just kind of clean it up a little bit, my help from Yahweh, which isn't that bad, but we also do have to kind of emphasize just the English standard coming. Because in here, there's not going to be a word for coming. It's just going to be Isaiah, mine, Yahweh, my help cometh from the Most High. You're also not going to see the. You're also not going to see a the in there. But it's something that is implied that would go along with the completion of the sentence in English. Again, now if we were just speaking in Hebrew, we wouldn't bother with things like this. Because again, the implication is there already. We get our strength, we get our power from the Most High. We get our salvation, the good, the bad, and the ugly from Yahweh. So it's the same thing down here, just in the Assyrian. We don't often use the connecting, markers on here. But we definitely don't use the whole dot and dash vowel system that the Yiddish includes. we'll give another second. I can see the, maybe let me write this one a little bit lower. I can see the TV kind of giving a glare. All right, that's better. All right, Zaria. So again, that Ra, different than how we see the letter D, not to be confused with the letter H, or the character Da, the character Ha. Because then these could also get confused with the character K or N. Oh, that'd be the long form, my fault. That was actually a W or a Y. The Na. Again, you're looking at the profile of the characters. This one's a lot thinner in comparison to this one. That top arm, a lot thinner. They're both long. They draw below what would otherwise be the common just kind of baseline or height line for the rest of the characters. The character Y, as we got here. And again, everybody's penmanship is gonna be a little bit different, but it's relatively gonna be in the same ballpark. So we erase this. And we'll do the other half of verse 2. Young. Wow, wrap this up. Aisha Shamayam wa Rataza. Shamayam wa Rataza. So these all get pronounced independently. So put this down here so we can avoid that glare too. And also, one good thing about the blue letter that's different than the Tanakh. In the Tanakh, when you read that English side of it, it almost reads more like the NIV or something, or the ESV. Whereas if you were to look at it, how would I say this? If you were to spell it out in the Hebrew, word for word, how it appears in the English there, it would be altered, it would be changed. But going from the Hebrew into English, you get the more accurate translation in the King James Version. So just one thing to note there. And in the Blue Letter Bible, it matches it up with the King James. Which made heaven and this and earth. So that wa coming in before and in the beginning of the word, it's pretty much always gonna be and wa arataza and earth. Arataza. Anytime you see this, that's gonna be earth or land. It can mean a couple of different things depending on just the context of the sentence, the message you're trying to get across, the point you're trying to make. So we got which made heaven and earth. I was thinking I did it again, didn't I? So you would see it just pronounced like sha. The majority of the time, when you see at the end of the word, when you got the ha character, it's normally going to be connected to the previous character. So that vowel sound is always going to drop off again. And this is almost going to be pronounced just like a breath at the end of the word. Aisha. Aisha. Not every time, but most of the time, you're going to see it expressed this way. And Shamayam. So now at the end of a word, well, I shouldn't say that because I believe Mayam by itself, Mayam by itself should just be heaven. Oh yeah, selected. So Shamayam is a separate word. Normally at the end when you see yum together, that signifying something plural. The root word would have been shema, which would have been just kind of in reference to like up high. And because there are multiple well, I don't want to say levels, like this ain't Dante's Inferno or nothing where there's like levels of heaven and levels of hell, but you'll see different reference points for heaven, again, depending on the context that you're giving it. The way the ISUPK teaches heaven right here on earth, the heavens as in just like the firmament in the sky above. Yeah, heaven or water. Yeah, water. Yeah, Salaki, good call. Good catch, sis. Or Salaki. I don't want Maccabi is in there. Shalom, Yabashim Shabbat. It's like I thought the system was putting that down. Yeah, heavens or the waters, because we got the firmament that's separated Basically, what we got is our atmosphere and then outer space. So just depending on, just the way you're applying it, but Shamayam is going to be heavens. And earth. So again, Wa and earth, Arataza. And we don't roll our R's. It's not Arataza. Arataza. We don't do that. We don't roll R's. It might be a force of habit for maybe some of the Spanish speaking brothers. Either have that solid roll like that, or like how they would pronounce just like a singular R. I don't know in Spanish to really give too much of an example, but sometimes they got the R that rolls, or the R that kind of sounds like the letter D. But we do not roll our R's in Hebrew. Now this would be pronounced as Wa. Ra. It's like it's getting close. Wa Arataza. Wa Arataza. So now we got, let's go back. So for verse 2, Azariah, Ma'im, Yahweh, Aisha, Shamayam, Wa Arataza. Aisha, Shamayam, Wa Arataza. You can see nothing really changes between, it's going to be the same spelling from the Paleo to the Assyrian, because it's all still pronounced the same. It's going to look different for the most part. Like you can see the Shah and the Shah. You can see how that relation still kind of carried over from the pictographic visual language like that to something a little bit more abstract. And you got another example here. I should have pointed this out the first time around, but an example of how the two Ma characters in the middle or beginning, you'll see it drawn out like this. At the end, you'll see it drawn out like that. Beginning in the middle, only always at the end. Now, Tazad takes on a similar character, or transformation, I should say. So at the end of the character, at the end of the word, you're going to see it take on this form. In the beginning, and again, notice the height. It's got that tail that falls underneath. I'll keep this going. So at the beginning of the word, you're going to see more like that. So in the beginning, you're going to see it take on this form. In the beginning, the middle, at the end, you're going to see it take on that form. Just so nobody thinks that that's part of it. Again, learning to identify some of the commonly mistaken characters. Ra, Wa, Ha. A lot of times they do get mixed up. Leave that up there for another second, then we'll start verse 3. Aisha, Shamayam, Wa Arataza. So when we covered the first verse, Now, if you go into the Blue Letter Bible, when you see in Psalms, like there's going to be kind of a key. It's like what? Otherwise, you're doing great. You're killing it. The water, sir. Appreciate your kind words. Come from Twin Cities. The water, sir. When you see, and just for example, see if we can focus on this real quick. I know this sucks, Salakia. I can't see that, but when going to the Lord, it's like going to the prayer. It says a song of degrees in the parentheses up top. So when you go into the Hebrew, it's going to include that, but in the actual text, like we wouldn't include that as part of the prayer. So we'll just start off with Asha, Ayanya, Ahaharim, Mayan, Yaba'a, Azaria, and then we come into this Azaria. Azaria, Mayam, Yahweh, Aisha, Shamayam, Wa'arataza. So we'll take this down. Jump into verse 3 real quick. Get that back on there. And this will be the last one. I think we're gonna end up going over 8:30. Yeah, this will probably be the last one, and then we'll shut this down, and then we're gonna jump into Sabbath service in a minute here. So verse 3. I'm gonna set this one up maybe a little bit different. I'll get done. Level rock. Go. Good. He said it's facing the right way. Yeah. Oh, you know one. Shamarka. Okay. So Al Yaton La Mowat Galka. Alianawam. Shamarka. I need space. I need space. Oh. Yeah, fun. That's coming up pretty good. Clear. Get fun. Llama what? Yeah. Running into that dreadful glare. All right, you know what? I'm just gonna move these down then. No problem. We'll just improvise. Yeah. Golka. Ra. Golka. Golka. All right. Your thumb, Lama Ra, Golka. Yanawam, Shamarka. So again, in Hebrew, we go from the right to the left, but in English, the way that we used to sounding things out and spelling it, we go from the left to the right. So in the English characters, the way that this would sound, your thumb. So this is going to read a little funky. So your thumb is going to be, so this whole section is going to read like, he will not suffer. That whole chunk right there. All your thumb. So in this case, all being not. And your thumb, compounding, he will suffer. So your thumb itself, just like the core of the word, it's gonna read more like to give, to bestow. Whether I think in most cases it's gonna have a negative connotation. Actually, not really. And again, the preposition in this, yeah, even given meaning to he. And it's like more about explaining this. You don't want to be so rigid as to go, it's not always gonna be like a clean word for word. We got al here for not. Like he won't bestow. He won't bestow. Like he won't give. What? What is to be moved. Galka back foot. Oh, shit. Maybe let me change this. What? And I think last week kind of talked about how in Spanish, how the sentence kind of gets reversed. You know, have like maybe the preposition before like the verb or after. He will not suffer. So this is not put to be moved. So again, it kind of reads backwards in a sense. Galka. Got Hazar Yala. Hey, Shalom. That was some Shabbat from Atlanta. Appreciate y'all checking in. So I'm didn't have enough room to break this part down to English. So I'll give you a minute just to copy this down if you're copying it down. And then I'll just switch it over to this side. Yeah, you can see how if you were to look at this text in the Hebrew, this is how it's gonna read. If you were to say it in English verbatim based on how this is written, Not he will give thy foot to be moved. It's kind of well, no, I explained that backwards. That's exactly how this would read in the Hebrew. You will not suffer thy foot to be moved, but in the English you're going to see it written out as like you will not suffer to be moved by foot. And this is why we study and practice and play around with it. Because when you're reading it, you're going to think you're reading it just straightforward like that without it actually coming out like this, without having to kind of restructure the sentence to actually make it make sense. Then we have our verb here from be moved. And la in the beginning. So moved or to move, to be moved. Mawat. So the core of the root word mawat. La meaning to. Anytime you see la coming in the beginning of that word, it's usually going to signify to. So to in action or to to the verb or to the like when we salute, we say La Yashala to Israel. So like maybe before the verb or before the preposition, you'd see what they would call the prefix. So la mawat, so to mawat being moved. And you can use other words to, that are synonyms with move, shaken, disturbed, rattled, things like that. And then regalka, foot. And then normally when you see the ka at the end of a word, that's normally going to be providing ownership. So thy foot, for that ka, so the foot, regal. So you got yad for hand, you got regal for foot, and then ka being the possessive, or what they would call the prefix in this case, I guess. Making the root word possessive. Ka at the end. For thy foot. I will erase this. So for that foot to be moved, should just did it how we did in the original part. I'm just gonna move this up top since we got a couple minutes left. Gotta make it easier for you nice people. Get the thing in there. Goka al-Yanawam Shamarka. We got Yanawam Shamarka. Yana Wam Shamarka. And I just realized I used like wrong colors. That will just bother my OCD another time. Yana Wam. Yana Wam Shamarka. Well, I might as well. Again, Yana Wam Shamarka. Yana Wam. Try to tighten this up. Shamarka. There you go. So you want to suffer that foot to be moved. And then this is going to be he will not slumber. To complete the sentence, I know it's so ugly right here. So Shamarka is gonna be that keep it. The will not slumber. And again, you can see that backwardness in what we're used to. I'm just saying like that because there's nothing wrong with the way that this is being presented. Just a different form that we're not as comfortable familiar with. Spanish speakers will probably get this idea a lot easier. Yeah, that's just how it reads back. Let's look at the root word for some of these now. Just all right, so shamar. So shamar, we use that synonymous with like security, to keep watch. So in this case, that kind of keep it that ka is going to count for the. It's like this part shamar, meaning like to watch over, or in this case to keep. And then these are kind of the implied points of it. Shamarka, whereas this is actually kind of the word. Because again, that ka at the end making it possessive. So shamar being the keep in this case. So he that keepeth thee will not slumber. So we already went over this one being not. And then Yabawam, look at the root word for this. Oh, it's like it. Yanawam. Because the ba is very similar to this. The ba and the na doesn't normally have that little tail at the end, but very similar together. So Yanawam. So if you look at the root word for slumber, Nawam, and again, Yah being he, because what did we have before? So, yeah, so Nawam being the sleep part, slumber, he will not. So he slumber not. And similar to how it had occurred in Yathan. So Thun. So the root word for, in the previous word for when we had Al Yathan. So the root word would have been Nathan. So Nathan would be to give, to set, to put, bestow, produce, report, designate, constitute, to be given, to be bestowed, permitted. You can use it kind of like a past and present particle. But then we see here the ya, the nawam, meaning sleep. Nawam meaning sleep. Ya, meaning he, in this case. He sleep not. Keepeth thee. So now I know that reads kind of backwards. Al Yathan, Shamaka, and Slakia. Al Yanawam, Shamaka, kind of reads backwards, being that this is keepeth thee. He slumber not. And this is talk, and in the way that it actually reads out, he that keepeth thee will not slumber. So the sentence structure can get a little difficult when you're trying to repeat it back in English and try to break that down. Otherwise, if you're just like me, you tend to make things more complicated than they have to be. Hebrew is a very straightforward language. Very simple, very kind of basic, straight to the point. And we've got the skill set to, write our poetry with this and make it abstract and convey very complex ideas with very simple words. It all just kind of depends on how you apply them. Because again, it's not always described as not. Just the context that you use it in. Keep it, shamar. Shamar, normally use that. You're normally going to see that as like watching over or security defending scenarios. But you can see shamar being applied to a lot of different cases other than just keep it. And just remembering, who was it? Headquarters, I believe, with Officer Hazahab, who is really like the specialty in this. He was just doing a class on prepositions and pronouns, I think, kind of a recourse on it. So in those classes, you can see these make all the difference, in the beginning of the word or at the end of the word, and how that gets implied. Because if you had the ka at the beginning, it would be something completely different. Ka shamar, that'd be a completely different word here than shamar ka, and the meaning behind it would change. Whereas if you had nawam ya, you know what I'm saying, that would give a different implication than they got a woman, obviously. I appreciate y'all bearing with me in this shortened, about an hour and a half on this shortened LASHAWAN QADASH class. So keep tuning in every chance you get. There's classes, there's a lot of backdated classes too, where you can see a lot of different angles and teaching styles from different brothers that go back years. Where when I first came to school in like 2015, General Kabbalah Mott was teaching the classes every Friday, and it was all over the phone. We didn't have the advantage of the internet where we could kind of have this interface here. And I appreciate your kind words, sis. I know it's kind of a bit of nails on the chalkboard for a minute there, but I appreciate y'all sticking with it. So yeah, old school classes from General Q all the way up until 2024. You know, almost 10 years later, that you can partake in, and you can study up on a lot of different topics. I'm no English expert, but you know the different sentence structures, the word structures, the suffix, prefix, the pronouns, the prepositions, that can all get clarified with the different classes that you can find out. So jump in across the board, you know, whatever time zone that might suit you better. You can check us out anytime with that. Appreciate y'all jumping in. Shalom, y'all. To the brothers, y'all. To the sisters, get ready. Also, October 11th. October 11th is a Day of Atonement. So make sure that those 2 days prior to the 9th and the 10th, you're keeping hydrated. You're hydrating yourself appropriately for that full 24-hour fast. You want to eat a good, clean meal or fatty meal, whatever. You want to eat bag of Skittles, you know, right before you get into it, that's fine too. But at sundown on the 11th until sundown on the 12th, it's going to be a 24-hour fast. Don't put this on your children. Don't put this on the elderly. Don't put this on the pregnant. You know, the brothers and sisters who are of an appropriate age and capability to observe it safely should do so. If you need to take medications that are required to be taken with the meal or with food, you should be exempt from it. Otherwise, if you just need to pop a pill with a sip of water, don't drink the whole glass. You know, get your body ready for discipline. So I'll leave that to you. And we're about to start our Sabbath service. Anybody wants to stick around, you can join us then. Otherwise, we'll check y'all out next week. Shalom.